So if we could have, hey Jeff, we could start to bring everybody in, and then we'll one by one start to bring everyone in, and everyone can in fact get settled in, as we are now just 3 minutes away, and then I will give a play-by-play, and that way we can adjust whatever angles that we may need. We are going to keep that door open. We're going to keep the studio we'll keep the fan in here. We'll keep the studio as much as we possibly can. And then, that's exactly right.
Can they stand on the
We
inside?
will, wherever they want to be. If folks entering the studio first is Representative Patricia Morgan. We'll get her mic'd up. She's in a beautiful red Nancy Reagan jacket. Very nice choice. So why don't we get her set up, and then make sure that all the angles and people can see her, make sure she's comfortable. She has her water. Plenty of time. You can move over that chair a little bit. So, yeah, get her nice and comfortable. There we go. And then Jeff will adjust the mic. There's Rep Morgan, folks, and then we'll have her on. And then if the TV people want to just give her any direction, stage left, stage right. Go easy with the lighting. Make sure everyone looks good. Rep Morgan is here. There she is, waving all the cameras. She's ready to roll. We're going to talk to her. And then next up, we can say a quick good morning to her. Good morning, Rep Morgan. She's taking.
Good morning.
There we go. All right, we're going to talk to her in just a moment. And then we're also going to bring in businessman Giovanni Feroce. We're going to bring him in, and he will be next. And we will sit him in the middle. And folks, we're now 90 seconds away. Tommy Feroce looking good in that American flag shirt. There he goes. He's going to be a threat on the football field. Brady's got nothing on Tommy Feroce, I'll give you that much. We have businessman Giovanni Feroce.
Thanks
We're
for having
going to get Gio nice and comfortable. We'll get the mic so we can hear him. And then most importantly, more important than that, is to make sure that the television people can get a clean shot on Gio. And then Tommy can watch actually from the production room. There's Tommy, whose birthday is coming up September 29th, same birthday as Jacqueline DePetro. There's Gio. Good morning, Gio.
Good morning.
There's the proud father. Very well. All right, folks, and now at 11:59, we are bringing in, there he is, Transom Mayor Allan Fung is entering the studio. We are now less than a minute away, so let's get him all set up with his mic. Jimmy, help out. There we go. Reach across. Everybody make sure we are nice and comfortable in the studio. And listen, it's a little warm, but it's only an hour, and we're going to go commercial free. There we go, a little bit of a fan, and then we go like that. And I want to remind people again, we're going to rebroadcast this on Monday, and this commercial free debate being brought to us, sponsored by John White Jr. So we have all three candidates in the studio, and we're going to begin right at 12 noon. And also, this debate will be replayed coming up. We're just going to start in alphabetical order. So the first question it'll be Feroce, Fung, and Morgan, and then we will rotate the questions like that. Your answers should be 90 seconds to 2 minutes, as we had set the guidelines for the candidates. I want to remind the candidates, though, it is conversational, and I want to give everyone enough time, and we're going to make sure everyone has equal time, can make their part. If a candidate wants to respond to something said, they should feel free to do that. So our first question will go in alphabetical order to Giovanni Feroce. Gio, and this is for all three, by the way. So we will go Feroce, Fung, and then Morgan. The primary is coming up on Wednesday, September 12th. There are three of you right now in studio. Only one will emerge for the general election. Will you pledge right now on the record to support whoever wins the Republican primary?
Absolutely. I am a Republican. I've always been a Republican from the first day I voted. Ran and served in the General Assembly as a state senator as a Republican. Ran for the 1994 Lieutenant Governor's race as a Republican. Won the primary as a Republican. I've always been a Republican, and that's the bottom line. And so I say to everybody out there within the party that we're never going to grow this party if we keep allowing people to leave it, if we keep allowing it to be fractured. And so today and going forward, I hope you all support me as soon as I win, so that on November 6th, I'll become the next governor of Rhode Island.
So at no point afterwards, you will not support the winner of the Democrat primary or Joe Trilla.
That is absolutely correct.
Mayor Fung, primary coming up September 12th. Will you pledge right now on the record to support whoever wins the Republican primary?
First off, thanks, John. Thanks to my primary opponents, and thanks to all the listeners throughout Rhode Island today. You know, I'm pretty confident in 13 days I'm going to be the winner of the Republican primary. But in case there's an upset, you know, I will absolutely, unequivocally support the Republican nominee because I've been, you know, a Republican now, serving proudly as mayor of the second largest city in Rhode Island for almost a decade. A lot of wonderful things that we doing, some great conservative values. I was proud to have won the Republican banner in 2014 after a primary, and I will certainly, if I'm ever upset, hopefully it's not, because that's why I'm here to ask for people's support. I will support whoever the Republican nominee is.
You will not support the winner of the Democrat primary or independent candidate Joe Trilla?
No way.
Okay. Representative Morgan, primary coming up September 12th, same question. You pledge right now on the record to support whoever wins the Republican primary?
You know, I have been a Republican also for my entire life. In fact, I knew that I was Republican when I was in college, and I have never swayed from it. I believe in principles that the Republican Party stands for, and I think that those are the principles that will make our state great enough. At this point, I have put nearly $100,000 of my own money into this race because I am committed to working for Rhode Island and making it a great state. We used to be a prosperous state. We're not anymore. There's a lot of work to do. That being said, I'm all in on my race, and I'm not pledging anything other than I'm going to continue to work and I'm going to prevail. But I will tell you that I am not going to support any Democrat or independent.
I want to get just a clear answer that we're going to move on. But everybody wants to win. Will you support whoever wins the Republican Party?
I am not going to jinx myself by saying that I'm going to support anybody but myself.
All right. Now, I would take that as a no. But you're
I
saying,
don't care what you take it as.
okay.
I am a Republican.
Okay. But you're a Republican, but you, just for the record, you're not going on record that you'll support whoever wins the Republican Party.
You know, Mayor Fung went on record and said that he would debate in a statewide forum, and he didn't follow through on that.
Okay.
So I'm not sure that he is.
Well, we're all here now. So, but just if that's your answer, I just want to clarify. But you will not, again, whoever wins the Democrat primary or independent candidate, you will not. Okay. Second question, state of the state, we go to Mayor Fung. Mayor Fung, and again, this is for all three. Rhode Island is suffering. The past 8 years has seen an unprecedented lack of leadership and sense of direction. For 4 years, the state suffered under the absentee, aloof style of Governor Chafee, who made his top priority calling a Christmas tree a holiday tree, and then embarrassed the state trying to convert the U.S. to the metric system with his 1% run for president. Voters thought things could never be as bad under Governor Chafee until Governor Gina Raimondo took over. After 4 years of another failed governor, and in a sign of the times, signs of ABG, anyone but Gina, signs and billboards now cover the state. Many refer to it as the Raimondo reign of error. Rhode Islanders have not seen this lack of faith in state leadership, which is at an all-time low since the early banking crisis of the 90s. 70% of Rhode Islanders polled want a change from Governor Raimondo. As governor, how do you begin to restore people's faith in the office of Governor of Rhode Island after the unmitigated disaster of 8 years of Chafee-Raimondo?
No, John, I want to compound that disaster. Even, you know, we had that fight with Chafee with, whether it's a Christmas tree or not, calling it a holiday tree, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've always called it a Christmas tree. We've got a governor that's so incompetent, she killed the Christmas tree at the State House just last year. Come on. Failure after failure. We need new leadership, and it's going to start from day one under the Fung administration. I can tell you, I've done it for the past, close to a decade now in Cranston as the mayor of the second largest city. We've taken a city that was in deficits, the same type of problems you have at the State House right now, and turned it around. We're running surpluses, one of the largest rainy day funds in any community in Rhode Island right now. We focused on businesses, not just the big guys like Cadence, Taco, Alex and I, but I'm proud to have supported Geraldine Sewing Shop as she opened their doors, or even Marchetti's or Cafe Eatery as they expand. That's what we need, is to bring back government to the little guys. That's what I've done in Cranston, to turn around and make Cranston the second largest city now. We focus on our plan, focus on our people, focus on our small businesses, focus on educating our kids, and that's what I'll do at the State House to make that state, our state, one of the best places to live in America too.
Representative Morgan, how do you restore people's faith in the office of governor after the disaster of the last 8 years of Chief Raimondo?
Our government is broken, and I have been in the State House now for 8 years, and it has been a front row seat to dysfunction. I have actually been on the finance committee for 6 years, so I've read the budget, and I know where all of the misspending is going on. I think we start with the budget. We actually make the budget a vehicle or a document that charts a future. But beyond that, we have passed so many bad laws, practices, regulations, and those are a heavy weight on all of Rhode Island. I do want to be the small business governor. I have looked at all those laws and practices. You know, when I talk with small businessmen, they don't talk about us having a bad business climate. They talk about us having a possible business climate. And that is a lot of what government has done. For every step that we've taken forward, we've taken 3 steps backwards. We need to actually get in there and fight the important fights. And every single one of these things will be a fight. I have a backbone. I'm not afraid to stand up to the corruption that is up there. I see those insider deals all the time. I will shine a bright light on all of it. Just this week I talked about starting an office of Inspector General and bringing Arlene Byron in as our state's first Inspector General. And that is because more than anything we need transparency and accountability in our government, and I will make sure we have it from day one.
Giovanni Feroce, right now, people have complete lack of faith in the office of governor. How do you restore that after the disaster of the past 8 years?
Well, they no longer have to have that lack of faith. I am running for governor. You have your choice right now in front of you. I have built a company that was just doing a couple of $1 million and took it to $238 million in just under 4 years, trending almost $400 million. I had 23 employees. I took it to almost 1,200 employees, created almost 4,000 jobs in the state of Rhode Island. The fact is, you have leadership. You're just choosing not to, for some reason over the years, elect it. You've gotten to a point where you're electing literally diplomas, people with no job experience. You know, I'm a veteran of war. I'm an immigrant. You probably bought eyeglasses for my brother and I at Feroce's Eyes Optical. We, you know, have had such a storied life of the American dream. So the only reason why Rhode Island would continue its ways is if you choose to elect this year gimmicks, things that are not presented to you in a proper format. So I'm here to tell you to study the state of Delaware, understand in 1981 how they passed the Financial Services Act that completely changed that state. Governor Pete DuPont, that's who I am today. I am that person with the Blockchain Center Development Act. Go to feroceforgovernor.com. Not to get lost on there. Just go to the Let's Fix Rhode Island and understand I'm going to create a new economy for Rhode Island.
Our next question, we're going to begin with Representative Patricia Morgan, and it is DOT. Under Governor Gina Raimondo, for the first time, Rhode Islanders have seen tolls installed on our roads. Another burden on small business. Although Governor Raimondo has made roadworks her signature project, Rhode Island still is ranked worst infrastructure of roads and bridges in the nation, Smallest state in the country has the worst roads in America. Governor Raimondo also defied national guidelines by putting her name on the roadwork signs that are littered all over the state. Free advertising per se. Most recently, DOT began an 18-month project on the Washington Bridge, blocking traffic, delaying commuters of East Bay residents over an hour while the governor was on vacation on Block Island. When asked about the problem, Governor Raimondo shrugged her shoulders and said, ask the DOT. Providence Journal editorial under the headline, Nightmare for Commuters, even asked, it felt as though RI DOT Peter Alviti was a secret plan from one of the campaigns of the political opponents of her boss, Governor Raimondo. DOT insisted it was a public safety issue, and as we now know, last Sunday, after public outcry and seeing falling polling numbers in the East Bay, Governor Raimondo instructed the DOT to pause the bridge construction until after the election. The question, as governor, your assessment of current DOT, would you keep Director Peter Alviti? Would the tolls remain up? And your reaction to Governor Raimondo playing politics with public safety due to falling poll numbers?
The DOT is a department that cries out for new leadership. Actually, all of them do. But that is one that I have spent a particular amount of time on because they lie all the time. And the tolls were a lie. There is a misconception out there that the DOT doesn't get enough money to fix our roads and bridges. They get $590 million a year, and they waste a lot of it. I will absolutely change the leadership, and they will have a top to bottom cleaning, because there is just incredible waste in that department, and non-taxpayer friendly practices. We have the second highest engineering costs in the country. I recently had to, I recently looked at this viaduct. There was a $1 million contract that was let out by an RFP. It has now grown to nearly $35 million contract through change orders. It has never had the cost savings of going out for competitive bid, and it's just grown and grown and grown and grown. That's what's wrong with DOT, and that's what's wrong with state government. Our procurement, really, this government checked out. I will check in, and I will make sure that all of our agencies realize that this is real money that the taxpayers give to us, and we need to squeeze value out of every single thing.
Giovanni Feroce, the smallest state, worst roads and bridges. Politics, one moment a bridge is falling down, the next minute it's not falling down. Talk to us about DOT.
Well, I think what Patricia highlighted was exactly the reason why in 1994 I actually introduced the Office of Inspector General, was to make sure we went after all these leases, all these contracts, all of the things required for us to have the start to finish of a contract executed in the manner in which it was intended. Since that time, I have to tell you, the actions of the last few weeks, to answer your questions, number one, all of the leaders of the various departments, the fact is they're going to be replaced. There will be my team that's going to come in there. It's going to speak my language. We're going to use military decision-making processes. We're going to understand how to develop courses of action, how to immediately react to crisis action management. We're going to have all the tools when it comes to information that I require. The reason why I built a billion-dollar company, it didn't just happen. It's because we're moving information. The other thing is, I'm very much into understanding how to create new revenue and implementing new technology and infrastructure. So I believe it's long overdue for the state of Rhode Island to have fast lanes, to have optional items in which someone can say, you know what, I'll pay the $5 to make my commute 20 minutes instead of 40 minutes. And let people who don't have that $5, who don't want that $5, to not pay it. But number one, they actually take advantage of it because now it's less congested in the areas that they're traveling. So all of these things require leadership, training, movement of information. This is where I just cannot emphasize enough. Understand my background. This is what you paid for. You trained me. You made me. I spent my years in the military for you to get what you have today as an option to lead Rhode Island in the future.
And Mayor Fung, DOT.
You know, the first person that's definitely got to go, and I think we all agree in this room, is Governor Armando. And that leadership is failing in every single department. There's not only a DOT, we're here, you know, we were talking about Gina Jan last week. Leadership at all single departments has to be shaken up, and that includes DOT, because I think the prime example that many Rhode Islanders have heard is, you know, putting incompetent people in spots where they have no background. Take a look at DHS. She had the former executive director of the Democratic Party with no experience leading that effort. And what was the result? UHIP, one of the biggest disasters our state's facing, with cost over $500 million. Imagine what we could have done with, you know, that increased cost, paved more roads, gotten rid of tolls. That's where we need someone with my experience to focus on what is needed, to go through that budget line by line, make the necessary cuts, putting competent leaders at first with experience and do what's right. Tolls, they're going to go under a Fung administration. We're seeing even new revenues come in right now from the online gambling. That's where we're going to put the new dollars into fixing the problems in our existing budget.
You mentioned UHIP. That is the next question, and we're going to begin with Giovanni Feroce. Summer of 2016, 2 years ago, Governor Armando spent the entire summer raising money, campaigning for Hillary Clinton, New Hampshire. She did not campaign with one state Democrat running for office. The governor was convinced she would be offered a position within the Clinton administration that Hillary would win. Governor Armando, as a result of her launching the UHIP program, against the advice of anyone familiar with the project, it's turned into an unmitigated disaster. She put political cronies in charge of the project, no experience, remotely close what was needed for the project. As a result of this ill-fated decision, complete unmitigated disaster, price tag climbing towards $700 million. Even the Providence Journal did an editorial. UHIP price tag keeps rising, putting our most vulnerable at risk, inconveniencing people of all ages. As governor, how would you approach the Armando failure of UHIP and attempt to restore faith in that system?
Well, first you'd have to immediately put a stop to what you're doing. I mean, you don't continue pouring money down a failed project. So, you know, what's required there is to get the citizens of Rhode Island what they need on a daily basis. We would immediately have that contingency plan. You know, I was asked recently, you know, do I support, and that's go off, like, do I support the president, some of the things that maybe weren't responded to right, etc. And one of my responses was, you know, Puerto Rico. You know, there are things that are kind of obvious that you can readdress. And so she continues to, you know, just pour money down this. So in my case, the actual steps would be the following. I would hire literally one of the best decision makers in the world to lead the department. What does that look like? Is it a four-star general? Is it a former CEO of Hewlett Packard? Is it someone who was just in charge of, you know, XYZ? To ask them to come and assist in literally attacking. Once they do that and they put forth the fact that we are now engaging people who want to be there. She is engaged, think about it, with an organization that is either A, not getting paid, but yes they are, as was pointed out, the government's going to continue to always pay them. But, quote unquote, in their mind, the governor's saying it's free until they fix it. Who wants to go to work where you don't know what's going to happen, right? They're not going to do that. And so that's the deal, is that in my case, I would immediately fix it by putting the right leadership in place. And that's what a CEO does. And that's what we need to understand what the position of governor is. The position of governor is to actually manage and lead, have a vision for the state of Rhode Island. And under me, everyone in Rhode Island will be taken care of, especially those that need it the most.
Representative Patricia Morgan, you have Walker of UHIP. What would Governor Morgan do regarding UHIP?
I think after 2 years and constant failures, Deloitte has proven that they can't fix it. So they would go. They would absolutely go. I believe, and you're right, I've been on the lines. I know that we will never get the money back from this failure. It is, I think it's going to be probably $1 billion before we're done. And Deloitte and the governor have already admitted that they cannot do what they were supposed to do, which is make sure that everybody who's getting benefits is actually eligible for them. It is completely broken. So Deloitte goes, I think it probably will have to be broken into pieces that make sense. I see the possibility of 3 pieces. They'll source Rhode Island, then the medical benefits, and then the kind of the cash benefits, food stamps and cash benefits on the other side. We need to get a new consultant in who can fix it. Maybe it's more than one, but we need to have independent oversight from people who actually understand computers, can map a strategy, can make the consultants accountable. We don't have that now. We never had that. And Gia was right. A crony was put in charge of this entire project. She had no idea what was going on. So it's complete incompetence. Political cronies and allies were put in charge instead of competent people. That we can't have in state government anymore.
Folks, good afternoon. It's John DePetro in studio with us, Rhode Island Republican gubernatorial debate. We have from left to right Representative Patricia Morgan, businessman Giovanni Feroce, Mayor Allan Fung. Mayor Fung, the next question we begin with you, and it's management style. Governor Raimondo. Go ahead. Oh yes, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
I'm happy to start off the next one, but
go ahead.
You hit to something that I didn't want to skip over. It's something that's personal passion to me. As everyone might know, my dad was part of that system. 7 months, my entire family, especially my dad, even in a nursing home, what they did to the families, I understand because I've gone through that process. It's unconscionable the amount of people that they've hurt, the worries, the emotions, the roller coaster people go through. You know, I rolled out systems in Cranston. We successfully rolled out a new computer software system in finance last year without impacting our residents. I'm going to use that type of experience at the State House. The first thing that we have to do is fire the lawyer. They've got to go. We've got to stop throwing money into the system that no one knows will ever, if it'll ever, accomplish what it was designed to. It's too big of a system. Bring in some technology experts that make the appropriate recommendations. Can't deliver the results that it was originally intended for. Stop digging. And even if we have to go back to the old paper system, hire more people on the front line, that's what a good leader will do. And then put forward a good decision-making matrix that'll have the least impact on our residents, particularly the most vulnerable who deserve their benefits.
That was my era. I jumped to Rep. Morgan instead of going to you. Mayor Fung, management style. Governor Raimondo has made it no secret her top priority as governor is raising money for her campaign and seeking headlines and press for herself. Providence Journal reported Governor Raimondo spent 3 months out of the year outside of Rhode Island attending fundraisers for herself under the guise of seeking economic development. Yet to date, after 4 years, the governor cannot point to one company she landed by traveling to the West Coast, New York, Washington, D.C. So the question is, how would you describe your management style, and what type of governor would Governor Mayor Fung be?
I can tell you, from the close to decade I've been there, I focus on the people. I follow the Belichick model. Do your job. That's what I've been committed to during a decade of service, turning Cranston into one of the best places to live in America, fixing its finances, focusing on business owner, focusing on residents. That's the type of leadership I'll take to the State House. You're not going to find me like a governor. 3 months, John, out of state fundraising. The only job that you're good at doing is fundraising out of state. Certainly the unmitigated disasters we've seen with Gina Jam, UHIP, and everything else, DCYF, and every other department, it's got to stop. She's got to go.
Representative Patricia Morgan, management style, Governor Morgan, and also I want to share, you shared with me as minority leader, Governor Raimondo, not even give you 5 minutes of her time per week, listen to ideas, open to different things. How would you describe your management style compared to that of Governor Raimondo?
I'm going to be a hands-on governor. I'm checking in. I will make sure that I have competent people in place, and I will bring them in on a weekly basis to make sure that we keep on track. I'm going to set a vision for Rhode Island. This is my vision. I have no aspirations beyond making Rhode Island a prosperous state again, where everyone can have a good life, financial security. I am tired of being told that people can hardly wait till they retire so they can leave Rhode Island. This needs to be a place where people can grow, work, and retire, surrounded by the people that they love and the places that they're familiar with. So I am going to make sure One, that we make data-driven decisions. I am a data-driven person. I'm not going to do it because it feels good. I'm going to do things because they are good for Rhode Island. I will make sure that I have a vision, that every dollar that we take in must be accountable. We must be accountable to the people for it. That we use it wisely and we use it well. That we limit government as much as we can instead of constantly growing it. We have a budget right now that's $9.6 billion for 1 million people. It is one of the largest tax burdens in the country. Our taxpayers are tapped out. Our state credit card is tapped out. We must stop just looking for another tax, another fee, another toll, so we can grab more money out of people's wallets. That's the kind of governor I'm going to be. I'm going to be focused on making the lives of everyday Rhode Islanders better.
Giovanni Feroce, as Governor Feroce, would you be crisscrossing the country, non-stop fundraising? How would you describe your management style compared to that of Governor Rhode?
Well, first of all, I had training in the military, I had training through the advanced management program at the Board School of Business. I put that training in motion. I built a company from $2 million to $238 million. I mean, it's just not normal. Over $1 billion valuation. Every top manager, business leader, professor have all asked me, how did I do it? I actually went to the United States Senate to explain to them on an invitation how I did it. And here I am today in asking you to vote for me so that I can do it for the state of Rhode Island. And the thing that I believe is important, and was just brought up, is that I love Rhode Island. We love Rhode Islanders. You know, I came here as an immigrant, and I remember being able to play in my backyard, take my bike, and go up to the middle of Arctic, or go all the way to Cranston or to the mall or whatever, and have the freedom, the environment we were in. Look at the opportunities our family had. My brother and I being the first college graduates. All of those things. But you know what the common denominator was? Hard work and conditions. The hard work ethic was required, but you had to have a set of conditions in order to prosper. And that's what I will do as a leader. And John, I have to just stay on this 1 second, and that's this. You have to know what a CEO is required to do, and that is to be the visionary and the chief executive of the state.
All right, we begin our next question. Representative Patricia Morgan, the Paw Stocks. For 3 years, Governor Raimondo and her staff spent hundreds of hours, she described, attempting to negotiate a new deal with Paw Stocks, Duck and Bread Stocks, and Rhode Island. The governor never held one public event in support of the team. When asked for months to stay in negotiations, she would dismiss the question by saying, ask the speaker. Timeline of events, August 3rd to 16th, Thursday, August 16th, word started to leak. Worcester was having a major announcement the next day involving the Paw Stocks. Friday, August 17th, Governor Raimondo began the day campaigning in Westerly, claiming she had no knowledge of any deal with the Paw Stocks in Worcester. At 2 o'clock that day, that Friday, as the Paw Stocks were in Worcester announcing they're moving the team, Governor Raimondo spent the afternoon campaigning with former Congressman Patrick Kennedy, insisting it was not a done deal, and she would get on swinging. At the Worcester press conference, the team never mentioned Governor Raimondo, but praised Governor Baker of Massachusetts as the person who, quote, said he could get it done. 5:30 that Friday, Governor Raimondo held the Friday night press conference, said the state had been, quote, outbid by Massachusetts, despite the fact for 3 years, the owners openly talked the desire to keep the team in Rhode Island. Rhode Island, Providence Journal editorial, quote, this is a blow to the pride of Rhode Island, will damage quality of life, signals once again the state is not up to snuff on economic development. In Rhode Island, again, Journal, Governor Raimondo failed to get everyone on board. What would you have done as governor, and do you agree with Governor Raimondo that the state is better without the Tucket Red Sox?
Cossacks are leaving. It's an institution. It feels like a blow to the gut. We all have great memories of taking our kids there and watching baseball. This is a failure of state leadership, of her leadership in actually trying to get this, being a cheerleader, trying to get the deal done. But it goes beyond that. We have a budget of $9.6 billion. We have one of the highest costs. If we had done that hard work over time, if we had really made this a thriving economy, maybe we would have had the latitude. But at this point, the people of the state were saying, our credit card is tapped out. We have no more money to give to the state for a stadium. So could it have gotten done, perhaps, if she had actually gotten in there and convinced these owners to put their own money in the deal? It's a private company, and they certainly have the money. But the taxpayers just simply weren't willing to give any more of their hard-earned dollars to billionaires for a new facility.
Giovanni Feroce, the Cossacks are leaving, and one of the things that the journal pointed out, even the owners said, Governor Monroe failed to be able to get everyone in the same room. It was 3 years they have been working on this deal.
So I apologize for being a little under the weather with my throat here. The fan base, everybody to, in fact, understand that they are part of the fabric of Rhode Island, and we should do what we can. Long way to go. Trust me, I know that contracts can go sideways sometimes. And so the way I see it, we have an opportunity when it comes to just ensuring we have leadership that actually jumps into the conversation and creates the conditions. And one of the paramount ones for me, the personal income tax. We have to get rid of it. We have to allow for Rhode Island to become a destination for both the
Regarding the debacle of losing the Cossacks.
John, you're right. Losing the Cossacks is a big blow, just like you did. Now, I'm sitting here telling you, and like I said before, I did not support, putting in more stadium. I would have shown different leadership. I would have sat down with those owners and take the approach like Foxborough did. You know what? Kraft built the stadium. You guys built the stadium. We'll work on the surrounding infrastructure. We're not going to subscribe to this corporate welfare approach. We'll also work on the surrounding economic development, just like what I've done in Cranston, in that middle part of the city, Garden City, Chapel View. I'm proud of how we've accomplished that. And Gina was also right about what this is a failure is our economy. We've got to build a better economy. How I'm proposing to do it across the board, not this one-off approach, cutting our sales tax, reducing it down from 7 to 5%, making sure that we cut fees, many of the professional fees, license fees that many business professionals pay, making sure we cut through the red tape. That's how we're going to create an overall business so that everyone succeeds in a Fung administration in Rhode Island.
I want to give all three of you to talk about, because all of you seem to have what I would call like a big idea. This time, Giovanni Feroce. As governor, your big idea gets you from your opponents.
What's the Blockchain Center Development Act? Again, in 1981, the state of Delaware saw an opportunity through a governor named Pete DuPont and an advocate, his name was Frank Biondi, and he created basically a whole new economy to the point where one of the credit card companies, MBNA, DuPont, as the largest employer in the state and as its largest employer overall, with 24,000 jobs, just one company, 10,500 just in the state of Delaware. I know how to do it. I focused, I understood that there's going to be a new third generation of technology. It's going to overtake the current internet we have now. It's called the blockchain. And I created 4 components. Number 1, URI, along with Rhode Island College and CCRI, will be focused on providing the computer science courses and management courses in blockchain technology to become the hub, the same way Stanford University was used to create Silicon Valley. On the private side will plug in of information and opportunity to provide the new companies that are built, the jobs and employees for those companies. Number two, the welcoming business climate. That means we allow for blockchain LLCs to be incorporated here and all the benefits. Again, the state of Delaware gets $1 billion a year just in corporate registrations. We can do that. The third is to utilize our government infrastructure. That's using our own, getting rid of the DMV, putting it on the blockchain. And the fourth is just the accelerator, incubator that takes the place of Commerce RI.
Mayor Fung, there's no magic bullet, but just your big idea immediately to try to implement as governor.
First priority of my budget is cutting that high sales tax of that 7% down to 5%. And send a message to the local businesses that are here that we value them. I want to keep a lot of our dollars of our hardworking Rhode Islanders right here in Rhode Island. I'm sick and tired, like many other individuals. We're up here in a border community in Stockton. How many Rhode Island license plates do we see over across the border in Massachusetts, or even dare say with Connecticut? Let's cut down our sales tax, make sure many of the people aren't leaving for our borders, keeping those dollars in our local economy. That's going to help many of the small business owners in East Providence, Cumberland, Woonsocket, all these border towns, and help create an environment where we value small to medium-sized businesses that are struggling still. It's frustrating for many of them seeing Massachusetts flourishing in so many different areas, especially up, up that 128 corridor, up in Boston. We're losing our next generation. If we can create a healthier overall economy through tax cuts and the sales tax being a principal part of it, we are going to create more jobs in the small business economy and grow it that way.
Brett Morgan, you've had a front row seat up at the State House the past 8 years. There's no magic bullet, but just the Patricia Morgan, quote, big idea.
You know, Mayor Fung just talked about cutting the sales tax by 2%. That's $314 million. And he's never told anybody how he's going to pay for it, which is just unbelievably foolish and irresponsible. It was when he brought out that idea months ago, it was pointed out to him that that was a bad idea. Except, I guess he's going to pay for it by cutting out 2 meteorologists. There's a whole lot more work than that.
John, can I respond to that?
Respond.
Absolutely.
Anyone, three of you can
first,
respond.
there's plenty of waste, and Rep. Morgan, you've been
And she will
up
get a
at
chance
that
to
General
respond.
Assembly for a long time now.
That was there. Your plan makes no sense. That being said, I did put forward a plan. It's detailed, and I pay for it. I had an economic development plan as well as a government accountability plan, and the plan works because I found the money to pay for all of the items that I had.
Patty Cake with
And
leadership,
that
do you want to respond to that?
That included the sales tax. I'm going to use the Amazon tax that the Democrats voted for to reduce the sales tax over time. It will be paid for. I am going to start 3 new state business parks on the model of Quonset. That has been an absolute gem, a job-creating gem for Rhode Island. I want to use that same model to have a Quonset North, Quonset East Bay, Quonset South, so that we can get more jobs, more entrepreneurs in here, and we can get them in faster, so that they can start providing jobs for Rhode Islanders quicker. I do have tax reform. The estate tax needs to go. That is something that really discourages our small businesses. And I pay for it with reforms. The Inspector General, again, I'm excited about starting that. I know how to do it. I am going to stop tolls. Day one, they're coming down. I'm going to have also a fiscal analysis of all our government spending, and we're going to squeeze waste, we're going to squeeze fraud and abuse out of the system. I know how to do it. I know it's in the budget, and it will happen.
John,
Yeah,
can I just, the visual on the last minute of exchange or two that my opponents just had, this is the visual. Do you ever go by the same gas station every few years and it says under new management and nothing changed? It's just under new management. Who cares? Who cares? Do you drive around Rhode Island right now and you see every former site of where Cumberland Farms used to be, and it's leveled, and there's a brand new, not only named Cumberland Farms, but it's just brand new with everything that it does. That's a Feroce administration. So that should give you the visual. If you need anything else, I mean, if you have children, parents, even yourself, and you really care, there's your answer right there. Otherwise, if you just want that vinyl sign that they hang on one side and 2 weeks later when the wind blows it still says under new management, that's what you're going to get if you don't vote for me.
Our next question, I want to start with Representative Patricia Morgan. Education in Rhode Island. Massachusetts is #1 in the country. Rhode Island is the worst in the country. You're a former teacher. How could Rhode Island, let's face it, under Governor Raimondo, she did not make it a priority. Came up with a gimmick with free tuition and CCRI, really just to help for fundraising. How can we turn around the failing public school education system in Rhode Island?
I was a special education teacher. I have also a principal certificate. I understand what happens in the classroom. I understand what happens with learning and teaching. And I am alarmed by how poorly our children are being prepared for their adult life. 61% of the children in Rhode Island don't read and write at grade level. 69% don't do math at grade level. That means when they leave high school, they're not ready for our employers. Education is the bedrock of our economy. I proposed in my education platform a couple of things. One is to give more instructional freedom to teachers. We know that the kids in Providence have different challenges from the kids in Charihoe or in Bristol or Portsmouth. Every child has I know from being a special education teacher that every child can learn, but they don't all learn the same. And we have to give our teachers the ability to adjust their teaching to the children that are in the seats in front of them. We also know that in the first 3 years of school, children learn to read. And starting in the 4th grade, they read to learn. So another really critical part of my platform is to make sure that every child is reading on grade level before they leave 3rd grade. We're going to mandate that teachers identify those children, and we're going to make sure that those children and their teachers get all the help and support they need to make sure that every child is reading on grade level.
Mayor Fung, Rhode Island, worst in New England. Massachusetts, #1. Governor Raimondo, both their children go to private school. How would Governor Fung turn around Rhode Island education?
You know, I support a lot of what's going on in our Cranston educational system. That's the model I'll take to the state. You know, first off, we're going to have a stronger emphasis on the STEM education, science, technology, math. There's a lot of good pathways to a lot of students that start at an earlier level, middle school on, to get them excited for those science programs and hopefully, you know, into college or technical school. And then once they get into high school, I want to see them have a lot more options besides just pushing everyone to go to college. You know, in Cranston, at Cranston West, we have that career and tech center, which is doing a lot of wonderful things, a lot of wonderful options and careers from medical pathways, aquaculture, culinary arts, to Cisco systems and beyond for students to apply to and get into those programs and hopefully lead to better careers. And lastly, even for those that might not want to go that route, construction and careers, there is a shortage right now. Try to get a good plumber, a good electrician. You have to have that type of options, and we have that in the charter school, one of the latest charter schools in Cranston, as part of the public school system for students that have options.
Giovanni Feroce, how can we be the worst in New England next door to the state that is #1 in the country?
Again, I personally think it starts with management. When you take over and you're the leader, you know, you're the chief executive, you begin with putting in the best managers there. Secondly, we need to legislatively address this. Stop kicking the can down the road. Let's become either one unit, in other words, one administration that runs the state of Rhode Island, the schools, not 39 cities and towns, and levels of administration that just don't make sense, even at least go to the county level. So I would begin focusing it there, and then letting the best of the best match up where Rhode Island can feed the economy that we are best at overall in matching up the students with the curriculum that feeds that economy. That's what's important. If you live in Texas, you're feeding certain economies. If you're living in California, you're feeding certain economies. We have to feed an economy. We used to have an economy based on jewelry. it's still here now, thanks to, frankly, my management and Carolyn's vision and others that built Alex and Donnie and other businesses that are still here. But we need to feed economies. And so I too would look at Quonset Point as a center for where we can manufacture housing. No more will electricians go to houses. Houses will come to electricians. We should have assembly lines that produce homes. So what feeds that? That's the curriculum. So it could be the technologists that are teaching our 14, 16, and 18-year-olds to run the machines, all the way down to those that actually will go on to college and other capacities.
Rep. Morgan, did you want to respond to anything that was
I
said?
did. You know, I'm happy that everybody is interested in technical education, making sure that our kids have STEM education. I have to notice, though, that, and Allan Fung has been, very proud of the fact that he cut the city's school budget. And when he did that, he actually cut music, art, all the enhanced learning programs in the middle school. He actually also took all of the tech aids out of the career technical center, so that really hamstrung the vocational programs down there.
Respond.
It's absolutely ridiculous. It's coming from, Rep. Morgan, who's big nothing, but, playing up in terms of football experience. I don't know where she gets her facts. The only facts that I
got it from the
Hold
former
on,
superintendent.
Rep. Let me finish, please, because the only facts that I can see is you've accepted $50,000 to renovate your office playing with leadership. You've accepted Gina Raimondo's 2015 budget that had corporate welfare all over, millions, as well as an expanded sales tax. We really need a new leader that's willing to shake things up, put the focus on where we focus on Cranston. And I can tell you, I have a great relationship with our current superintendent and help and support our kids in a safe school environment.
You want to respond to that?
You know, he cut $9 million out of the school budget. I happened to be a leader when our offices, our caucus offices, needed to be renovated. They were a mess. They needed to be fixed. I got it done. He cut $9 million, and he affected the education of all the children in Cranston. And that includes the vocational school. It also included all the custodians. And then we found out that the pipes burst because they didn't have that custodian who would check and make sure that those pipes didn't burst. He has not been an educational leader. He has not been concerned about those kids getting all of the programs that they need.
Give you a chance to respond. I do want to move on to something else.
Just
but
quickly,
quickly respond.
I'm proud of our school system. I've been one of the leading advocates putting more money, not only into the school system itself operationally, but also into school construction, millions over the course of my administration. And under Rep. Morgan's comments, it sounds like our schools are a disaster, and they're not. We're doing a lot of good things, sending a lot of good kids to even Ivy League schools, and most importantly, we're growing as a city that's second largest in the state, overtaking Warren. It's one of the best places to live in America 3 years in a row. You don't get those distinctions under Rep. Morgan's facts.
Giovanni Feroce, go ahead.
The governor also got, she was the 38th most powerful person in the world, according to one of the Forbes magazine. I don't think that the distinction that Cranston got had anything to do with their taxes, because the taxes actually are the 8th highest municipality in Rhode Island. That's under this governor, 8th highest. That means it's crushing for average people in their homes. He's raised taxes 20%. His long-term debt has gone up 43%.
We can actually talk about the future of Rhode Island.
So,
I mean, I'd love to talk about the future of Rhode Island between both
Gio,
of these
if it's all right with you.
conversations.
Gio does deserve time.
Well, it's kind of just goofy again.
Well, there's two things I want to just jump into. Number
Just
one,
not talk about the future of Rhode Island.
well, one thing, Rep. Morgan actually brought it up. Rhode Island is considered the worst state to retire in. And 4 years ago, Governor Raimondo was very vocal. Empty Superman building, no cranes in the sky, her whole thing of bribing companies to come to Rhode Island. If you just want to touch on that, I'll give both of the other two a chance.
Absolutely. I mean, again, it comes down to decision making, right? So Superman building, put it on a time clock, right? If it doesn't get to a certain point, what's the next course of action? Should it be imploded? Should it have something else? Let's keep moving. We're paralyzed in this state. And I'm here to tell you, somebody wanted me to throw punches at, my opponents and all this stuff. The only punch I'm going to throw is just a general statement, and I'm sure it won't affect them because they probably don't believe it. They're just not even close to being qualified as I am as a decision maker. They just don't have it in their experience and in their background. There's nothing. When I made decisions, they had consequences. People died, okay? Let's be serious here. When I made decisions, people either live or die. People either build the future for their families, are able to get married, have houses. So it doesn't matter if it's in my military experience or if it's in my business experience. I have real experience. You know, again, no offense here to either one of them. But the fact is, okay, we're in a debate. You know, Allan inherited something. He didn't build something. He's a mayor of a city. Next time there'll be another mayor, and after that there'll be another mayor. He didn't build it. I built Alex and Don. You know, Patricia's a minority leader. She's a leader. Next time there'll be another minority leader, etc. We have to get serious in this state, John. It's time for me, no, because everyone says, oh, are you backed off? You just not, listen, I let them go at it, right? What are they talking about? They're talking about stuff in a middle school somewhere.
Well,
it's crazy.
Worst state to retire in is no small thing for older people. Mayor Fung, worst state to retire in, if you want to respond to that, or the empty swimming pool.
No. Gio's right. We've got to look to the future. And this, you know, the bickering that Patricia, Rep. Morgan really wants to stop throwing shots, gets us nowhere. It's childish. We have to take a look at where we want to go and where we're going to take the state. You know, because we do have to take a look at not only the super building, but how we do development all throughout the state of Rhode Island. Making sure that just like Cranston, we focus on many of the small businesses that are here and really help them lift up their employees and everything else. And the reason that Cranston is succeeding, and just to kind of throw, you know, counter what Rep. Morgan was talking about, we've built a stable financial tax base. How are we getting all these businesses from Providence? It's stable, it's safe, because people want to be there not only to live, but to work, but also enjoy all the amenities that we have.
Rep. Morgan, I want to give you a chance to respond to that, and also you did bring up worst state to retire.
Yeah, and there's no mystery in the reason that the 195 land is not getting built. It's because the taxes are too high. It's because coming to Rhode Island is difficult for any businessman to take on unless we're paying them tons of money to come here. We can't do it. The taxpayers simply can't pay every company that wants to come for a handful of jobs. We really need to do foundational change to our economy. I'm willing to take on that. It's going to be a really hard battle, but it's an important battle because if we really want jobs here, we have to start lowering taxes. Once again, Mayor Fung hasn't done that. Taxes have gone up 20%. And when you talk about
We're actually closing our
retiring
closing
have to lower the tax burden,
closing
not increase
statements.
it every year.
We're going to start. I'm going to ask each one a minute, and we're going to begin with Representative.
Closing statements. Rhode Island really used to be a powerhouse of prosperity. It used to be a great place to come, to have your family, to grow wealth, make sure that you had all the best possibilities, a bright future. That's not the Rhode Island we have right now. I've demonstrated in my 8 years in the State House that I am willing to dig into the problems, to find out what they are, and to go after them. I was always focused, as in my political life, on serving average, everyday Rhode Islanders. One of the things I'm most proud of, quite frankly, is getting the income tax exemption to Social Security. Because I know that I want those seniors to stay here, and I want them to be able to pay all their bills, so that they don't have to lose their houses because the property taxes are going up because our cost of living is pushing. I will continue to keep that going. I will always keep everyday Rhode Islanders and their struggles at the top of my agenda, and I will make Rhode Island great again.
Mayor Fung, your closing statement.
First of all, thank you, John. Thank you, our prior opponents, and thank you to all the listeners. You know, I'm laser focused on the real problem, and that's government bundle, and we can't survive another 4 more years of her administration. We already know she's not good at managing. We already know she's not good at managing tourism, especially with that cooling moment debacle that she rolled out. And certainly we know she's not good at managing DOT, because we saw Gina jam on 195 last week. The only thing she really is good at is running her fundraising out-of-state operations. In Rhode Island to the crossroads. We need a leader from day one that's been in government, that's ready to take charge and shake up that state house. And I am that person. You know, look at what we've done in Cranston. You know, we fixed our deficits and now have surpluses. 4,000 new jobs, 70 new businesses, one of the top 50 cities to live in America. We can do better than Governor Londo, and we will do better in the Fung administration. I'm asking voters for their support on September 12th, Wednesday.
And Giovanni Feroce, 1 minute closing statement.
Well, I'd also like to thank you and the station and the listeners, my opponents, for being here today. I will stress that I hope, Allan, you do join us going the rest of the way. I don't think it is right for you to not be part of debates. It's just not. And I want to thank you, Patricia, for joining me in every debate. So, that said, we all should have a common target, right? It's the governor of the state of Rhode Island,
Who has not debated.
Okay? And Gina Raimondo, we realize, is all gimmicks. It's giving away our state to the highest contributor to some, goofy thing that panders votes. Reality is, I have the experience. I'm the person that I want you to relate to. It doesn't matter if you grew up on a triple decker like I did, or a raised ranch, or went to WNRI, or were in the military, or have a small business the way I did at Feroce size, or work for a big company like I built at Alexander, or have 5 kids the way I have, when it comes to making decisions for your children. So I just ask you, please look and understand that my background is the reason why you should vote for me on September 12th. And I will be the best Republican to represent us. And as a Republican, I will win on November 6th. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is John DePetro. Stay tuned. Another hour to go.
You are listening to the Rhode Island Republican gubernatorial debate on the John DePetro Show on AM 1380 and 99.9 FM. News Radio WNRI. Our debate is commercial-free and sponsored by John Hazen White Jr.
My throat was just, I had that little 5-minute period.
All through my
Tell you how to save money on your insurance. Ever notice they never tell you about? This is David Susie from Susie Insurance. Since 1914, Susie Insurance has been helping our customers save money. For something as simple
Hey!
an extra $500 or more in your pocket is real estate. Call Susie Insurance at 800-585.
Just make sure I have everything.
John McCain was such a man. Today,
Thank you very much.
he lies in the place where he served to the last.